here just to make sure this is going to go live. Had a few issues the last few nights. Thank you guys for dealing with it. We should be good now. So tonight, I am going to try and answer the most asked question I get. How to apply to merch by Amazon. Now, I haven't really answered this before because it's different for everyone and everyone's situation is different. So I'm going to try and give the best advice I can give you guys based on what I've read, what I've seen, people I've talked to, and my own experience applying. So I hope this will try and satisfy some of the answers some of you guys have had. And we'll jump into the computer here and hopefully try and help you guys out a little bit. With that said, though, if this is your first time here, Merch by Amazon is a platform that lets you sell print-on-demand t-shirts. And what print-on-demand is you create a design, a digital design, upload it to Amazon, and when someone on Amazon orders the shirt, Amazon prints it on a t-shirt for you and ships it to your customer and then pays you a royalty each month. It is probably the easiest way for anyone to get started making money online. However, it's invitation only. So what that means is you need to visit the merch.amazon.com website and fill out an application. But there's some things that you need to do before you go apply. And I highly recommend everyone take these steps before they go apply. So let's jump into the dashboard here. And chat's still kind of lagging from last night. Just do a quick hello everyone in the chat. And we should be rocking and rolling. Anyway, so if you go to merch.amazon.com, this is the website you're going to land on. It is pretty simple. We sell your designs as Amazon products, reaching millions of customers throughout the world. No upfront investment or cost to you. Want an invitation? So here's how it works. Simply upload your artwork, choose a product type and color, and add a product description. We'll create a product page on Amazon, and when customers buy your product, we'll handle production, shipping, and customer service, all with no upfront costs. Want an invitation? To be considered, please complete an application and tell us more about your background and experience. It's the first thing they tell us on there, is they want to know about our background and experience. What kind of background do you need? What kind of experience do you need? It's very important then that you jump into here, and at the very top is this button that says resources. Before you apply, before you go apply, I want you guys to read every single word of everything in every link on this page. Go through the royalty calculations, go through the content policy, go through the best practices, go through promoting your merch, go through the legal, read the services agreement, read the program materials license agreement, read the terms of use, read the merch collab and Amazon print on demand schedule, which is brand new. And I haven't read that one yet, so I'm making a note. I haven't pulled this open, but that is a brand new policy right there that we should all be reading. I don't think I can stress it enough, guys, how important it is to read all the rules about Amazon before you apply, because it's going to give you a good understanding of what they're looking for in the application. Okay, so the next thing you really got to do is you're going to want, this is going to depend on where you're from. If you're in the US, you can use your social security number, or you can apply for a federal employee identification number, incorporating and going with that whole route. Now, if you're not in the US, it's going to get a little bit more complicated. If your country has a tax treaty with the US, you should be fine and applying. As long as you got a bank account and tax treaty with the US, you should be able to go to, I put it on a note here. Let me just grab this link and I will try and put this in the description for you guys. Let me pull it up. This is taxpayer identification numbers. So you're going to want to come here. Oh, if I can not refresh the screen. Okay, you're going to come in here. There's social security numbers, employee identification numbers, individual taxpayer identification numbers, taxpayer identifications for pending U.S. adoptions, and prepper taxpayer identification numbers. If you're not in the U.S., you're probably looking for the ITIN, the individual tax identification number, which is for non-U.S. persons wanting to establish business in the U.S. Talk to a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I am not giving legal advice. I am not a accountant. So please talk to someone who is qualified to give you the legal advice on this application before you do anything else, because I could be wrong. It's very possible, and I can only speak from my experience. Okay, so next you've gotten the identification number. Whatever method you're going to use, you've found some way that you're going to identify yourself to Amazon. Next thing you're going to want is a bank. Some sort of a bank in the US is going to be important. Payoneer should work. There really isn't a reason that Payoneer, if you have a Payoneer account, is most of the way people get through their application. So what's going to happen once you apply? You're going to click request an invitation. It's going to ask you to log in. So I'm using kind of a generic email address here, and I'm going to just do a quick transition because it's most likely, okay, it didn't for me because I just verified it here a moment ago. I didn't want to log into it. So I clicked on begin application in there, and previously it was asking me for verifying my phone number associated with that Amazon account. Now, if you already have a Seller Central account, I kind of recommend, it depends if they change the Merch Collab application. Previously, to apply for the Collab application, Merch Collab, which is a program where you can do sponsored products with brands. Previously, to be able to do that, you had to use the same email as Seller Central. And I got stuck for 35 days of not being able to access my Seller Central information. You really don't want to lose access to Seller Central if you're a Seller Central seller. So use the same one instead of trying to merge them later, and then you'll have to use a different email address when you do AMS. So I think that's probably one of the best ways to go there. Okay, then you're going to click begin application. All right, so it's asking to text me. I am going to send the message, and that probably means I need this camera. So let me just check here. Sending the message. Should come through here. All right, not letting you guys see this one. So you're going to have to do a two-step verification with Amazon. It's going to be a requirement. There's no real way around it. It is what it is. So you're going to have to do that. Let me put this camera back here. So there we go. Good? We good? Okay. All right. So that's what happens when you're using your actual phone as the video camera over there. And that should be good. Okay. Anyway, we'll get back over here. So once you've gotten in, let me pull my desktop back up. It's going to come up with choose your country or region. And the questions are going to change based on where you pick here. So like if you pick the United States, it's going to ask you your business name, your address, your city, your state, your province. And then it's going to ask you to pick where your bank is. So these are all the countries it's asking where to identify your bank. You're going to have to identify something. If you don't have a bank, you can click on I don't have a bank. And it's going to ask you about your tax questions. So I'm not sure which countries are going to have these issues, but go through and fill out the tax information based on your tax status with your country. You're then going to have to tell them about a bank and the tax status. And then withholding, it's going to do basically a tax survey to identify if you qualify for 30% taxes, withholding 0%, depending on the tax treaty with your country. This isn't really Amazon. They have to follow US laws. And if your country doesn't have the right tax treaties, it's going to be harder for you to do this. And I do apologize for that. I can't do anything about it. It's just kind of what it is. Now, I'm not going to go through here and fill out all of my tax information, but the next thing it's going to do, the next page is going to ask you about your experiences selling things online, essentially. And at the time of my application, this is what I talked about. I talked about my experience selling on a Shopify store that I had running at the time. I talked about my experience using licensed designs on products. I hadn't been doing print on demand at the time, but I had been using images that I purchased, products that I had the rights to use through, and was reselling them on my website. And I talked about creating my own designs because I was beginning to do that aspect of it. Linking to the portfolio was important wherever you have. Your own domain is going to be stronger than linking to a Redbubble or Spreadshirt website. If you can, build a portfolio on your own domain showing some print-on-demand products, and it's probably going to help you out. The next thing I would do is, if you can't do that, get on Redbubble, Spreadshirt, and start building your portfolio over there. Sometimes Redbubble will ban you right when you start for some reason. I've heard of people saying like the first time they uploaded, they got their account terminated. But in almost all cases, I've heard of them emailing them, explaining to them like, hey, I'm not trying to scam, you know, here's all my legitimate information, and has gotten their accounts reinstated on Redbubble. The next thing is you just wait. You fill out the application and you wait. The applications may be a week, it may be 3 months, it may be a year. So there's no reason to start waiting to apply to Merch by Amazon. So get in, apply, and get started. I know everyone's looking for a magic bullet to get your application approved on Amazon. The simple fact is they don't tell us what all the criteria is. They definitely seem to be wanting to make sure that you understand US trademarks, copyright laws, how to sell things online, how to create unique original designs, and basically how not to get them in trouble. That's the entire application. Amazon's wanting to know that you're not going to get them sued for something that you uploaded that they miss, and then they pay a lawsuit to HBO because you made a Girl Has No Name shirts or Mother of Dragon shirts and infringed on the most popular TV show, and they had to shut down your account. Don't make Amazon have to spend money dealing with you. Make money with Amazon, and you're going to be more successful overall. All right, guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.